The Advanced Poker Training Shove Fold Tool is one of the most powerful web-based tools you'll find, and is useful both for cash games and for tournament play. It combines the features of the APT Winning Odds tool, which shows you the equity of one hand versus another, and the APT Tournament Chop tool, which uses the Independent Chip Model, or ICM, to analyze profitable tournament play. So this tool looks complicated, but once you watch this video, you'll realize how simple and powerful it is. The tool assumes we're heads up, and player 1 only has two options, to shove or fold. Now that doesn't mean it's only useful when you're playing in a heads-up game. It's useful anytime there are only two players remaining. If player 1 shoves, player 2 will only have two options, to call or fold. So there are two modes up here at the top. Let's start by taking an example hand and computing whether player 1 should shove or fold. Suppose we're player 1. The blinds are 500 and 1,000, so the initial pot size is 1,500 chips. And let's say we have 8,000 chips remaining after posting the small blind. It's folded to us in the small blind, and we have Queen 7 of diamonds. And we're trying to decide whether to shove or fold. Now here's how we could compute that. First of all, let's assume that player 2 has us covered. He has 20,000 chips. Now here's the only tricky part. In this box here, we have to enter 500, because we still owe 500 more chips in order to match the big blind. Now the only remaining question left to answer is, what hands will player 2 call us with? I'm going to enter them here and assume that he'll call us with any pair, any ace high, and even a few of the king high hands, the best ones. As you can see, that's about 25% of all starting hands, which seems reasonable. And that's it. Hit the compute button down here, and we can see this green box indicating that we're better off to shove than to fold. If we shove, you can see our expected chip stack in the long run will be about 8,700 chips. If we fold, we're left with 8,000 chips, of course. Now here's where the tool becomes really powerful. Let's go back to the main screen and give ourselves a different hand. How about the worst possible heads-up hand, 3-2 offsuit? Click the compute button again. As you can see, it's still profitable to shove. In other words, clearly our opponent, by only calling with 25% of his hands, is not calling often enough, and we can profitably shove any two cards. Of course, this result is given in chips only. In a tournament, we want to be looking at the real money payouts using the independent chip model. If you want to do that, advanced users can press this Enter Tournament Payouts button down here. Now suppose there were 4 players remaining in the tournament. Click the 4 button here, and now enter the payouts and stack sizes over here. Press the Compute button down here, and you'll get a complete ICM evaluation of the current situation. As you can see, it's still better to shove. Now let's go back to the main screen and try a different example. This time we'll be player 2, and player 1 is shoving on us. Let's say both of us have 20,000 chips left, and there's already 25,000 in the pot. And here's the flop. Again, we can use this tool on any street, even pre-flop or any street post-flop, as long as there are only 2 players remaining at the time, and one of them is deciding whether to shove or fold. So in this place, player 1 goes all in on the flop, and we have pocket 6s. Should we call? Well, to answer that question, of course, we need to estimate player 1's range. Let's say that player 1 has a super strong range. He will only shove with big pairs and ace-king. That's all we need to enter. We're ready to press the compute button. As you can see by this green box, this is an easy call, even against such a super strong range. Our average stack size will be 23,000 chips by calling, but only 20,000 chips if we fold. And once again, if we wanted to, we could press the Enter Tournament Payouts button down here and do a complete ICM evaluation. So the Shove Fold tool can be used in any situation where there's 2 players remaining and one of the players is deciding whether to shove or fold. Let us know if you have any feedback, and be sure to share it with your friends too. Thanks.